Loading. And we are live.
Mi gente, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Mario Jose Pagan Morales. I am a theater poet. I would like to invite all of you to please join us this evening at La Esquina Open Mic. Tonight's open mic is a little special. It's a little different. If you want to know who the feature is for this open mic, well, it's the community, it's us, it's everyone who's in this room. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us. Tonight's a little special as well. We're going to be highlighting organizations within our community who are doing amazing work. And just to give you folks a little brief history, when we decided to start La Esquina Open Mic, we were looking for a home that fit. Organization that allowed us to be in their space was Mil Mundos, which is located in Bushwick. So I'm just going to give you folks a little information about Mil Mundos. I'm just going to literally read off their mission statement. Mil Mundos book's primary mission is to remain dedicated to large-scale anti-gentrification work in Eastern Bushwick and beyond, and to maintain a curation and space to celebrate Black, Latinx, and Indigenous heritage and support the narrative of these cultures. They have two state strategies which they work towards. One, proactively engage with the community, especially with Black, Latinx, and Indigenous communities adversely affected by incoming commerce, to maintain a two-way conversation about how best to encourage and support their autonomy and agencies in their own neighborhoods and lives. And two, to maintain a culture of acceptance, inclusivity, and healthy communication, both within the store and as an organization overall, serving as a model for our community to our values in any work environment. So to Maria, Heron, Sami, Sarita, Maranello, Lori, Betania, Tania, Citri, Cari, Maria, Lucia, and Nicolas, and everyone who volunteers at the store, we just want to say thank you for the amazing work that you do. If you want to know more about the store, you could go to their website, milmundos.com. They do amazing work. If you're looking to volunteer, they have a volunteer opportunity. Their social media handles, Isa is going to be posting up. For Instagram and Twitter, it's at MilMundosNYC. And if you do feel charitable and you want to make a donation to them, they keep it very simple. Their Cash App is $Mil So that's one of the organizations that I wanted to highlight because they're the ones that gave us the opportunity to be in that amazing space. So with that being said, I'm going to start off with a poem. This one is called Inside Control, My Tongue. If the man owns the world, oh white power hidden behind every word I speak, the man takes me into his caverns of meanings and sound. If all my talk is borrowed from his tongue, then I want hot boiling water to wash out my mouth. I want lie to soothe my soiled lips. For that English that I speak betrays my need to be a self-made power. Miguel Algarin, may he rest in peace. So I'm also going to read some of my stuff, if you don't mind. I've been working on a series of prayers. I just kind of fell on my lap, so I'm going to read two of my pieces. This is called Prayer to the Open Door on Sunday Mornings, or Hey. Iglesia convinces the vecinos he will be okay without her. Mommy sings along, her avocado bata flows across la sala. Los rolos in her hair don't move. The door to 3E open for all to hear. A megaphone of cortavenas. Ya ves. The dogs playing poker keep watch. Mommy's tears fill the bucket. Pine Sol rolls its eyes, wondering when this telenovela will end. Mommy mops with a megaphone, scrubs the linoleum, removes Las Huellas that led to Julio on repeat. If anyone has their mic open, can you please mute yourself? This is my next piece. This is called Prayer to the Coquí with dread smoking weed while wearing black Air Force Ones. Oye, manito, pasa la hierba buena. Cuéntame un cuento of time y days before colonizers sailed the ocean blue. Cuando abuelitas fed nietos from coconut breasts and abuelos passed down historias to little ones of cotorra feathers adorning our crowns y pescados filling our pipas. Cuéntame un cuento of Yaya, Bayamanacó, Itibaba, Cajubaba, de Minan, Caracaracol, Bones, and Higuera, a Tortuga, an ocean. Tell me the names of the moon and sun, que Atabey is God, and her firstborn is our father. Bring me back to where all began, cuando el mundo was home, and all we knew was el sol y el mal, y Borinquen is all we needed. Thank you for letting me share. So
that
first,
was amazing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So my first poet to the mic is a sister who's visited us before. I'm excited to hear her read. She's coming to us from California. So, bienvenido a la plataforma, Susana Pravel Pérez.
Gracias. It's so beautiful to be here. And I'm going to share three short pieces today. The first one being called Decolonize Your Mind. This is for the girls who run away. Run so far to forget who they are. Dive deep into suburbs of any city USA where nobody knows the why or the way. A D disappears between vowels. Or how L and Ere switch it up in partner dance twirls of the tongue. This is for the nanas who move away to marry men with names like Smith and Jones, to merge and blend, submerge and send que pasa power to the closet with the well-ironed sheets stiff with amidon, like abuela taught them before they left home. This is for the chicas who scorch their scalps with lye and flat irons, pressed by the myth of pelo malo, who swallow so many scarcely mass slights they sweat it through their pores, who believe the lie that they are less, not knowing their own magnificence. And this next piece is for a magnificent friend who was conceived in chaos, but was born magnificent. It's called Bendecida. He took what wasn't his, sin permiso, left his ancestors' echoes sin querer, fed her bitter potions sin vergüenza, but mother love fiercely held on tight. With growing womb, he left her sin un quinto. She cursed his fading shadow sin tapujos, embraced the budding life within sin pena, surged with awe when child revealed her might. She had no words for this blessing sin parejo, held baby girl and brought her home sin nombre. A month of days slid by sin darse cuenta before she found a name she knew was right. A name fluttered in the autumn air sin dudas, in a language not her own sin inquietar. She named this blessed being sin apuros, beside the luz, sacred dwelling of light. And for my last piece, another short piece in the same vein. This one is in English called Blessed, but the subtitle of this one is Why I Love My Job. And I should mention I work as a physician assistant at a community clinic in Oakland, California. It's called La Clínica de Raza. We take care mostly of Spanish-speaking immigrants, many of whom are undocumented and are having a very, very hard time right now. With COVID, we have a 33% positivity rate. We have great hunger in the community because many of the people are undocumented and don't qualify for programs. It's a difficult job, and it's also a blessing to work there. So this poem came out. By the steps of Oakland's Iglesia Santa Isabel, a woman stopped me with "Doctora," said reverently, as if she'd uttered "Padre" to the white-robed priest within the church's walls, face illuminated like rose and yellow light streaming through stained glass. A girl, maybe 7, was at her side. She presented me to the pigtailed child, Spanish lilting like a corrido as she recounted the months I laid hands on her growing belly, like a soothsayer cupping a crystal ball. The child looked at me, deciphering the mystery, cascades of gratitude flowing from her mother's mouth, splashing blessings as she cradled the child's crown. Gracias.
It is always beautiful to hear your poetry, Susana. And it's always great to, the thing about our community es que tenemos la oportunidad de escuchar lo- las- los poemas de diferente cultura. And it's always great to hear, poetry from different point of views. And I would just want to say thank you to anyone who's an educator or medical caregiver during these times. You guys are the true heroes. And I know it sounds corny, but I know that you guys put your lives on the line, and you guys take time to educate our children. So thank you very much. So the next reader to the mic is someone that I completely adore, has actually seen me evolve through the years with my poetry. And it's always exciting when I meet artists outside of poetry who are still writers, and they're just creating their work. And she's been doing amazing work on her own. She's a dear friend of mine. She's a playwright. Sauda Jackson.
Hey, everybody. Um, Again, thank you for allowing me to be in the space with you all. I so appreciate it. I think it's really important for artists to visit other artists in different disciplines. I think it's very important. I think playwrights should talk to poets, poets should talk to musicians, a whole roundy. So I'm very appreciative to be here. But on that note, I have been working on my own show for 3 years. We're pulling into year 4. And so I'm in the point of editing at this point. So this is one of the stories I got a chance to re-edit. And most of it is just about me, my mom, my dad, and growing up in Chicago. And last time I got a chance to speak, it was very heavy. So this time I'm keeping it as fun and funny as we can because, I'm a melancholy Molly, y'all. So just hold on. Oh, right. Oh, no. Oh, dear God. I'm coming. I swear to God. I just lost my space. And 2 seconds. 3 seconds. 4 seconds. So this piece I'm about to read, as soon as we find it, because I'm not technically the best, it's called Prom. I did not have a great prom experience, so I decided to sit down and write about it. Here we go. Prom. I just like to say I had a date. I hope when my mother got to heaven, God said she really did have a date. I had a date months before prom, but he dumped out. I don't even remember his fucking name. We both were in a youth group at the Red Cross for years. It was nothing romantic or anything. It was just a tick off a list. I mean, my mother was raised with very little poverty and went twice. The bar was a bit high. She was home half of my senior year of high school. We learned she had breast cancer, so it was chemo and bed. So she had nothing but time to look and wait and ask and judge. He was tentative at best when he agreed, but I took it. I really should have seen the dump coming. Now, the true issue arose. I had to inform the Grand Dame I was dateless. Mommy. So who are you going with again? Only me. Nobody. It was what's his name, but he can't go. Mommy. Nobody. Well, what are you gonna do? Me. I'll go by myself. Mommy. No. Either get a date or you're not going at all. Now, I'm not making her out to be a villain. She was a caring and loving individual with an edge. This is just one of her edges. So the hunt was on. She called all her friends who had male sons, nephews, cousins, paper boys. Any warm body, age appropriate, was called. On my end, I asked everything with a swinging dick and a pulse in my high school. Nada. It was late in the game. It was looking bad. It was looking like I was going to spend my prom as I spent most of my Saturday nights, being lulled to sleep to the BBC comedy series, Are You Being Served, on PBS. But hold up. Can I make this confession? I was asked and super early to boot. Anthony Ward was not popular, and that was putting it nicely. He was chubby, talked weird, and was made fun of by our classmates as long as I could remember. And I should have gone with him. He liked me since forever and was nice. But this is the problem with youth. You don't appreciate shit when it's presented to you too early. Anyway, the hunt was getting intense and her threat of me not going was real. Finally, I had a school friend get her godbrother to go with me and double date with her and her date. My date was 16, 5 feet tall, and completely unenthused. I was 18, 5'5", and happy that I could find someone to go. Yeah, you get what you get and you don't get upset. You know how people had fanfare while preparing to go to prom? Walk down the sidewalk. Nope, just me and mommy, struggling to tape my tits down and squeeze them into a bustier, and the discovery that medical tape does not work to strap double D tits down in a bra.
Do me a favor.
What happened? What favor?
Close that door.
Oh. I finally climbed into my dress, white, my stockings, white, and my shoes, white. I stood there looking like the head of the usher board at somebody's black church. I then descended the stairs, descended until I tumbled down the last 3 because my heel caught on the carpet. When I finally hit the bottom, I looked like a pretzel. At this point, my mother was hysterical. I was crying from frustration and I had a dime-sized hole in my stockings, but we moved forward. She scooped everyone up from their respective homes and dropped us off. Yes, she chauffeured us all. I warned you about the helicopter parenting. Keep up. I don't know what I expected when I walked into the space with my pint-sized underage date, but it was all unfulfilling. The food, the music, the fashions. Maybe I should have stayed in with PBS for the evening. It would have been more exciting. As I sat there contemplating why I bothered with any of this and trying to salvage my stockings with the dime-sized hole now creeping to the size of a $50, in walked motherfucking Anthony Ward. And I said, wow. He looked dapper as fuck and his tux was fresh as hell. And he had a gorgeous girl from our class as a date. And I sat there feeling, well, dumb. He certainly leveled up. There was my date, or the date I should have said yes to, that I dumped. There he was living his best Cinderella dream. He was even classy enough to say hello and compliment me. As I sat there awkwardly eating with a guy I had never spoken to in my life, my date, we got word it was the last few moments for photos before they closed up shop. So me, my date, and the now running stockings took photos and slumped back to the table. Once it was over, Mommy picked us up, dropped the whole crew off again. It was nuts. And I was glad to have the whole affair in my rearview mirror, but in retrospect, her doing her regular selfless thing in these circumstances, in particular these circumstances for her at this point in her life, means more and more as the years go on for me. Confession. The most fun of the day, weirdly, I had was prepping and riding with my mom to and from the event. It's us. It's what we do. We were a duo. And I miss it. And I miss her. Well, you never miss your water till the well runs dry. Thank you.
So Uda, thank you so much. I know that we usually speak a lot, and I want to say thank you for sharing your craft. And I think it's amazing when an artist can do that, and especially a kick-ass actress, because she's also an actor, right? She's amazing. So thank you again, and thank you for being vulnerable with us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me again, y'all. I love y'all.
Oh.
I love poets. Go poets!
All right, so let's keep it moving. Joseph, are you with us? Hello, Joseph. No. All right. So then I'll just.
I am.
Oh, you are fantastic. Yeah. So,
sorry.
Joseph found us on Eventbrite, and he's coming to us from Canada. So the next reader to the mic is Joseph Dan Duran.
Thank you so much. Just one poem I'll share. Thank you for allowing me the time. It's cool. This poem's called I Would Like to Say Thank You. I would like to say thank you to the nuns and the priests who abused me when I was 6. Thank you for doing that to me. And if you'd like to see how I am, just look out your window as I pass by, because I know where you live, old man. And to the sisters, I would like to thank you for toughening me up later in life. It was needed. And I shook off all comers, and I took the pain you gave me when you stepped on my 6-year-old brown hand and told me to be still and that God was watching me. And when I finally confronted that old man, I slapped him across the face, and in his eyes, I could see the lust he had for me those decades before. And now he weeps as the pain in his face changes, and I walk away still that little brown boy in need of comfort. And I know that I am who I am, and to you abusers, you cannot have me. You cannot destroy me. I can do that all by myself, thank you. To the men who used me when I was 9 or 10, thank you for scarring me and giving me nightmares, as they still haunt me here at 56 in my little office where I punch out poems to soothe the soul, where I can relive the torture of being touched by men. Thank you, and I will visit one day and go up to you, slap you, kick you, bite you, end you. The music changes, and I have some new kick-ass headphones, and I can hear all the greats and remember times when I was 15 and drinking and doing LSD and tripping in a bar and watching a Pink Floyd cover band, and they were awesome. And the bar was lit with very cool lights, and I was tripping. And when it was over, the house lights came on, and it was then that I realized that the rest of the bar that night was full of fully patched outlaw bikers, and there I was, 15 and long hair and brown skinned and tripping. But they let me float on out of there and into the streets, and me and my friends who were also tripping, we floated home. And as I am here now, I put on some blues and write some poems about this or that. Wanted to say thank you to all the girls I knew when I was 14. And we all hung out on the weekends, and we did our best to be as drunk as we could. And there were such gentle moments. I remember being with a girl, and we made love and giggled as those around us were so wasted, and they puked and they pissed themselves. And we still conquered our teenage years with the best of them. And even today, I remember each girl's name, and I remember how we made love and how we drank until early morning. And I just want to thank them for loving me when I was 14 and so skinny and brown and long haired and not even sure I liked myself back then. And I'm sure I do not like me now. The edges are creepy, the hair is gone, the eyes are crooked, so is the nose. I weep myself to write a poem for all you girls, even though I know I have been forgotten. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So for those of you who don't know, I have several names, but one of them is Smush. And you had me at I was trying to compose myself. Thank you for sharing that amazing piece. I was a verge of tears. Um, thank you for coming to the open mic. Please come back.
Yeah, I will definitely.
Oh wow, that was incredible. All right, so the last poet on my list this evening is someone who I'm excited about, who will be featuring next month for us at La Esquina open mic. This sister is amazing. I adore her. So the next poet to the mic is Violeta Orozco.
Hey Mario, thank you for I adore you guys too, and I was excited to know that this month was dedicated to La Comunidad. I was like, hell yeah, it's a perfect way to close the year. And I want to mention, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wendy's Subway. But I have a friend who's been doing some amazing work in inviting featured readers it's like a residency he's doing for them, which are some sort of like library activist center, and he's basically inviting speakers to talk about social, like activists in CUNY. For example, 2 days ago was Tony K. Bambera. 3 weeks ago it was Audre Lorde, and 2 weeks ago it was June Jordan. So he's been doing amazing work in just sort of like preserving the legacy of all these writers and activists in CUNY and in Brooklyn. And I actually invited him in January. I would like you guys to meet him, and he's Puerto Rican too. And yeah, like it's cool to see how we've gotten to like know what the work we were all doing isolated thanks to the pandemic. So hopefully he can join us next month, and I will share 3 short poems. If I find them. Yes, here they are. So the first one is called El Escenario. Being on stage means connecting with my father, because the stage is the only place where I can feel heard. My home was never mine. I had to find my own. And then it wasn't there within myself. I had to build it from scratch. Only then did my father turn around, look up at the voice that talked to him through his deafness, blindness, for it was not my voice that spoke. It was a choir that came from afar, from beyond my death, from beyond my life. And the second poem is dedicated to June Jordan. It's called The Route. It's referencing a poem she had, so famous I forgot its name, but you'll recognize that piece if you heard it. The Route. I come from shame, That is my country and is also my name. This is the place where I come from, the part in me that has felt closer, more familiar. I know all the roads lead to shame. I've always felt wrong. Wrong was a place, almost a home for the homeless, a place where I fit in, like Procrustes, the dude they tied to a bed and cut off his limbs so he would fit. I lower my voice, knowing they won't know me. They will fail to recognize me every time. I enter the room feeling awkward. I must be in the wrong room, the wrong country, the wrong gender, all over again. Yet, something has changed. My shape has changed. I don't fit in the places that did not love me back. I realize all this time I was a space where all the other missing pieces came together. And the third piece is called Walking Toward Myself. By the way, before I forget, I want to thank Títere Poetas again, because when Mario told me a few days ago what Títere Poetas meant, I was like, oh, I'm one, and I didn't even know it. That is so cool. I felt like doubly at home. I was like, yeah, that's why we really bonded. So thanks again. Third poem, Walking Toward Myself. I am walking towards you as I have all my life, as I have done all my life. In the invisible path, fully covered by brambles, tracing the scar like the river, opening my fist, touching the outline of the spine. Know that the river tide ripples towards you, moon in the summer, fish in the light, glittering, glimmering, opening a gap in the water, in the dark. Pull at the ocean, I will follow the sound, like the foam follows the impact, the tide seeps under the sand. I am walking toward my reflection, greeting myself like a friend I'd forgotten, left behind. Only my shadow in the aging sunlight keeps its shaky shape. Thank you guys for listening.
Vaya, Violeta, it's always a pleasure to hear your work. Thank you for coming through. So with that, I would like to say muchas gracias for allowing me to host the first part of this evening's open mic. And I would like to hand it off to my amazing sister, who, without her help, none of this is possible, because we all got two left hands, Isa Guzman.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. This is exciting. Such great work so far. I am so happy everyone's here. We organized this very quickly, and I'm just so excited for all of this. And I'm talking about the thing I wanted to give a shout out to. So I'm not giving a shout out to an organization, but more of a concept that's currently happening within the community. And that's mutual aid. I wanted to give a huge shout out to mutual aid, because many people, many organizations have really helped bring funds directly to the people via these, via just asking directly, like, hey, here's a Cash App. We need money for this. We need money for that. We need money for bills. We need money for release funds. It's been an amazing It's been an absolutely amazing thing happening online. It's happening on Twitter. It's happening on Instagram. It has helped out several people, especially people of my community, the trans community. And so I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of mutual aids that I found, that I support. All of them you can find on Instagram, and I'll put them up on the YouTube in a moment. I want to give shout outs to Funds for Caregivers, NYC_COVID_mutual aid, Mutual Aid NYC, Undock Women Fund, Emergency_Release_Fund, Feme Defense Fund, and DC Black Trans Support. Please check out all of those. If you have funds, if you want to give something, definitely give something to all these people. I am going to recite two pieces. One is for a woman in our community who passed away in August. She was a trans woman. Her name is Eliche. She had to flee England. England has tougher laws and a tougher structure when it comes to wanting to transition. You have to go through hoops to just get to see a doctor, to get to the medications that you need. So she came to New York City, because in New York City, we're one of the best states in the United States, and in the United States is one of the best countries in the world when it comes to trans health. And she was able to get the help she needed here in New York. However, she needed funds. She moved. She had to find a job. And so she relied heavily on mutual aid to get by. Unfortunately, she did pass away of a tragic accident. Pero I want to keep her name alive for all of us in the community and for everybody in the trans community. Night for Eliche. Eliche, April 10th, 1997 to 2020. Did not die at the ripe age of 35, but was swept by Atabe's waves at 23. Will be embraced by Yemaya on August 31st, who kept the early pearl of her life and made her infinite too soon. While Ellie likely thought about next month's rent, or how much the next procedure will be, or what next grief or elation to process, as her body changes into herself and is, right now, submerged in happenings yesterday. What happened tomorrow? What will happen now? Under and above the night, your face joins the faces of Alexa, y Dustin Parker, y Yampi Arroco, y Monica Diamond, y Lexi, y Johanna Mitzker, y Serena Ramos, y Leila Sanchez, y Penelope Ramirez, y Nina Pop, y Helly J, y Tony McDabe, y Remy Fells, y Raya Milton, y Raina Thompson, y Serena Reyes Hernandez, y Brian Powers, y Brea Stone, y Mercy Mack, y Shaki Peters, y Bree Black, y Summer Taylor, y Marian Charaizes, y DeJour H. Ova, y Hardy, y Ajaron Spears, y all the names this year has claimed and will claim. And Ellie, you own the night in all its waveform, cartilage, and dream space light. You own the night knowing thyself, and you are still becoming. You are still becoming. And I'll wrap myself up by reciting a poem that I literally been working on today. It is an incomplete gratitude poem. But while this year has been very tough for all of us, and for many people in several communities, I'm still very grateful to have community, to have all of you here, to have all the people that support me, to all the people I love. So, gratitude poem, it's untitled. Soy viva in the potentiality of words, despite the potentiality of words. Escribiendo con white sage a healing ash. H. Mi cara refleja una música de joy en la metafísica de touch. Yo toco my cheek, toco mi cuello. Siento los labios de gotas duras. Soy viva en la ontología de mi cuerpo que se crece como océano. La ontología viento que pasa por mis labios. In songs of learning myself. Soy viva in moments of gratitude. Pecho de luna. Mi pecho que contiene las multitudes de rubí. July memories. Celebración de agosto womanhood. Eléctrico. Un mundo that doesn't stop. And I'll keep multiplying, beat within beat. Soy viva con abuelita in a Christmas tin under the bed. Y yo fumando en la ventana de tiempo, watching every revolution still becoming. Thank you. So my set of people, I have an amazing set of 4 poets. Who do I start with? I am going to start with a previous feature of ours, an amazing poet, a teacher. I want to introduce Fly Vida.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for sharing this space. It has been an absolutely cleansing experience to be listening to you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Susana read a piece that was subtitled Why I Do What I Do. I also have a poem. I also have a series of poems that go under that title. So I'm going to read a few of them in succession. So that'll be one poem, and then I will share and also an incomplete poem. And so why I do what I do. And also, thank you, Isa. I'm a teacher. I teach God bless New York City Public School, DOE. We're all figuring out, but we're all doing our best. What happens when you want to breathe fire and destroy everything in your path, but your screams go unheard? I will swallow these words and they burn my insides and fry my brain and become the object of my obsession. Where do I release them? Where will they be of use? You poked a sleeping dragon when you said her student would graduate because he didn't meet the minimum requirement on an English exam that he was not given accommodations for because he isn't considered an English language learner, so because he did so well on the diagnostic exam that he tested out, and he wasn't even considered an English language learner, even though he spent his entire life speaking Spanish with a side of English. And he just happens to be so damn bright that he got it all right. And yet you say he can't graduate, but you're not going to pay attention until my rage manifests, until you're set ablaze. My lessons are skill-based. They need the skills that they never learned for their confidence, their assurance. Pressure only makes a diamond. Just when you think, and I will do you the courtesy of going into detail regarding the tone with which you express your attitude toward my career and professional life, blood, sweat, tears. Just when you think I've taken stay for the evening, I have no choice but to pick up a pencil and make a note of which weapons fit the occasion of navigating nonfiction texts. which weapons I can arm them with tomorrow and for the test and for the rest of their lives. Please tell me one more time that they can't do it. That is one more reason to prove you wrong. With all these disarrayed desks and my hair's a mess and I haven't looked in the mirror all day, but I will confess it is worth all that stress. In gold, a happy teacher's worth her weight, but not the pay. But that's okay, because the joy that I receive in seeing my students succeed supersedes any pay gap that a business degree might alleviate. Instead, I will be salaried in summaries of fiction and nonfiction and stipend in analyses of syntax and diction. And we will be rescued by the 5 W's, and don't forget about the H, because when I ask you how something happens, the words run off of the page and into your brain. And that is where independent thought must take its place. Because when I ask you, how do you know that you are doing a good job? I do not need you to get it right. I simply need you to try. When you have a question about the task, I need you to raise your hands and ask. When you follow directions, take corrections and redirections, and that's when you know you are doing a good job. I do not need you to get it right. I simply need you to try. Counting my stressings as each one of my blessings. It is some kind of twisted bliss. I will never buy a Mercedes. Let me say that again. I will never buy a Mercedes, but I would rather be with my babies, the ones who call me Miss. Thank you. That is why I do what I do. Something else I venture on into, in addition to being a teacher, I am also the creative director of an art program that has now gone all digital. We do a bunch of different writing exercises, and I want them to dive into their creativity. I would love to speak with any artist that would love to work with me, to work with my students. Teamwork makes the dream work. And so we've started drafting some poems. I've started showing them my process. And so I want to share with you an amalgamation. It starts here, but it ends with a finished piece, I promise. So please join me in celebrating hope. You like to think of hope as a pretty little thing with wings. Well, would it ruffle your feathers when I tell you that hope requires more than passive pensiveness, some humility? It is the opposite of discouragement. Just as the roses through which color your glasses that you see the world need the sun, they also need the storm to grow through the concrete. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with optimism. But what comes when hope is lost? What comes after hope? Resistance. They say that hope floats, and I like to agree. As many times as you've pushed under the surface, you have no choice but to rise. And these are my stomping grounds, my crossroads. Because without my community, I have no hope and no inspiration. Because todos por unidad, we are all under the same sun. Arte por comunidad, individually contributing toward a goal of one. Move with purpose, create, engage, empower. Inspire an empire, call it what you will, a project, a movement. It is a start of something good. Our moment is an act of art and trust. Rise up. Que viva la cultura, que viva el amor, que viva la libertad. Green, where prime purpose and blue freedom meet. Bronx, New York City. The intersection of art, culture, and community, we do not always see eye to eye, like when those fires, Game 2 of the 1977 World Series, flames rose up behind Yankee Stadium and separated the have-nots from the have-nothings, but from the ash rose the phoenix. There should be no line that divides the community from the art that defines the community that creates the art. Celia sang it best. Rompiendo barrera, cruzando frontera, not just to survive, but to thrive. A call to sing, dance, act, create, engage, inspire. Todos por unidad, arte por comunidad. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was Fly Vida. Oh, amazing work. Thank you again for sharing your words and for being in the space again. It was a lovely feature when we had it at Mil Mundos. I hope we can have it there again in the future next year. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but I hope so. I want to bring up next another one of our previous features. She was a feature back in October. She is an amazing visual artist, an amazing poet, an amazing bruja, amazing sister. I would like to bring up to the stage Iris I Am.
Yeah, Mia.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I hope everyone is well. Okay, so I'm just gonna get right into it. For some reason, my heart's like racing a little bit, but it's okay. All right, so I'm gonna start off. De una matriz peligrosa, navegando en agua tóxica, su líquido amniótico casi me mata. Nací pequeñita, enfermita, pero nada de mí fue blandita. Mi primera educación sexual fue a los 6 años. Aunque no violento, el trastorno psicológico era suficiente cumplir con sus deberes por el hecho de ser mayor que yo. A los 19 años, mi madre me botó de casa por falta de respeto a Dios a elegir el lesbianismo. Pasé por hambre, insuficiente chavo para comprarme un sándwich. Lo único fondo que tenía era para mi cel y transportación al trabajo. Tengo mi cuerpo cicatrizado, mi rito de paso I showcase con mucho orgullo. El año pasado fue extremadamente pesado. En febrero, mi perro mayor murió de cáncer. Julio, mi pareja de casi 12 años, nos divorciamos. Tenemos un hijo de 3 años. Se mudaron miles de kilómetros. Yo he llorado en silencio. Pero empezar a crear de nuevo. Aprendí a amarme primero. En agosto, mi padre falleció del corazón por su adicción. No le temo a la oscuridad. Es más, me visto con un caché. Me visto con caché perfumada. Le regalo ramas de flores. La saco a cenar. Y finalizar la noche, bailamos bolero en el cementerio. This year, my shadows clawed underneath my bed, feeling their scorched, coarse breath on the nape of my neck. La soledad, mi confidante, maestra, revolucionera, muerte divina, amante. En el silencio desconcertante le hice el amor al pasado, mis dolores. Aferré mis fracasos con deseos ardientes hasta que vaporizaba mi piel, acariciando mi toxicidad por su cintura, seducción, calentura. Justamente cuando sentía que navegaba por la nube por el placer, enterré la maldita fucking viva. I forgave my mother for choosing my abuser, disowning me. I forgave my abusers for branding me with a stench men want to wear on their skin. Me he pasado la vida en busca de amor menos en mí misma. Pero esta vez me miro en el espejo, hay esplendor en mi sonrisa y ojos. Me dejo notas de amor, me toco con pasión. Camino firme, recta. No me vendo por fruto que no se cosecha debajo del sol. Se me ve caminando con elegancia, poder y regal. No es falta de humildad. Estoy consciente de mi existencia. Yo soy amor. El amor tiene que sufrir y luchar para integrar la conciencia colectiva, la elevación eterna. Thank you.
Thank you, Edie. It's amazing work as always. Next up, I want to bring perhaps one of the most important writers in our community. It's amazing to have her here in space. It's amazing to see all the work that she's doing on social media. It is amazing to know that she'll have a published book out soon. And I cannot wait to read it. Next up on stage, I would like to introduce Elizabeth Velasquez.
Hi, y'all. I am forever happy to be like here with y'all. Thank you, Titre Poets, for continuing to create these spaces where we could be together in art, because art can be really fucking lonely. Really fucking lonely. And so it is really dope to be in community, because it's deeply personal to like sit with yourself and create something by yourself, and you really don't know if this thing that you're creating has the ability to live outside of you. And so that's why these spaces are so important. And also, this is just one of the few ways that we've been taking care of ourselves, right? You know, Isa mentioned the mutual aids, and Flavia talked about how virtual community, we've been able to kind of connect with folks that we wouldn't be able to connect with. And so, you know, it's been really fly to see community like show up and show out during the pandemic. So really excited to be here. I'm gonna be reading some poems. I'm gonna get right into it. And I'm gonna be reading some poems from the book. I really wanted to share with y'all. This is one of the few, I think I've shared like one other time at a book festival thing that I did, which is like wild, because I'm like, oh my God, I did a book festival. What is that? But so I'm really excited to share some poems from the book for the first time with my community. Okay. Professional Spanish knocks on the door. I'm nervous. Professional Spanish knocks on the door. And at first, we don't answer, because knocks that loud usually mean 5-0 is on the other end. Señora, ábrenos la puerta, por favor. Estamos aquí para platicar con usted. No queremos llamarle la policía. The person on the other side of the door is speaking professional Spanish. Professional Spanish is fake friendly, is a warning, is a storm you can't trust to be consistent with its thunder, is a flash flood when you just spent your last $20 on a washing set. Is the kind of Spanish that comes to take things away from you. The kind of Spanish that looks at your Spanish like it needs help. Professional Spanish, of course, doesn't offer help. It just wants you to know that it knows that you need some. Professional Spanish is stuck up, like most people from the hood who get good jobs. Professional Spanish is all like, I did it, you can do it too. Professional Spanish thinks it gets treated better than us because it knows how to follow the rules, because it says abrigo instead of go, because it knows which fork belongs to the salad and which spoon goes in the coffee, because it gets to be the anchor on Telemundo and Univision, and we get to be the news that plays above its head in the background. So this next series of poems, and I'll just go through them, is around the protagonist's relationship with Puerto Rico. So my book is called When We Make It. It's set in Bushwick, Brooklyn, where I'm from. And so we get to kind of see la protagonista try to figure out what being Puerto Rican means. Story time with Señor Mavi. Señor Mavi has all the stories. He was around back when Broadway got burnt to the ground. Tú sabías eso, he says. 1977. 1977. Señor Mavi talks slow and raspy. His voice is so hypnotizing, it can almost carry you directly into the freaking flashback. The 1977 blackout had everybody wilding out on Broadway. Se llevaron todo. Televisiones, furnitura. Señor Mavi said he even copped himself a new mattress. People took what they needed, and they needed everything. People really struggled in his time. Not like now. We don't know shit about struggle. In Señor Mavi's eyes, we're just a bunch of delincuentes vagos who sell drugs and take advantage of el welfare. Señor Mavi sounds like he's asking himself a question. Los muchachos de hoy en día, and then answers it. No saben ni un carajo de lo que es sufrir. And I want to ask Señor Mavi about suffering. I want to ask him about Puerto Rico, but that would probably just prove him right. Can I be Puerto Rican? If I was born in Brooklyn, if I've never been to Puerto Rico, if my English is mixed with my Spanish, if I cop quenepas from the Chino spot, if I don't know the Boricua national anthem, if I don't know who our heroes are, if the closest thing I've come to the beach is La Pompa, if I can't dance salsa, if all I got is a feeling, can I be Puerto Rican if all I got is a feeling? Qué bonita bandera. Señor Mavi peeps, Lala and I getting ready to head down to the Puerto Rican Day Parade on Knickerbocker Avenue. Mira qué chévere. Boricua hasta el fin. Pero ¿qué saben ustedes de Puerto Rico? Lala and I don't answer, partly because we're insulted and partly because he's right. We don't really know shit about Puerto Rico. Señor Mavi shakes his head like he's disappointed. He says that we need to learn our history because the flag we're waving means something. Había un tiempo en cual la ley prohibida está tener una bandera. And I can't imagine the Puerto Rican flag ever having been illegal to own. I missed her. That was a long time ago, Lala says annoyed. You can't be stuck in the past, señor. Where's your flag? Señor Mavi tips his brown felt brim hat, taps the one pocket on the left side of his white button-down shirt. My flag is here, he says in an English that doesn't pronounce the G in flag. My flag is here. Rafael Hernandez Airport. When the plane wheels hit the ground, everybody claps like they do during worship. And I guess it makes sense to praise the landing. Each passenger putting their faith in the pilot and the flight attendants praise these gods of their own religion. The only doctrine where for 3 hours and 45 minutes, we are the closest to heaven we will ever be. Oh, how dope to be part of a glorious congregation in the sky, a rapture of Boricuas rising like we always knew we deserved to, like stars, like angels, like chosen ones celebrating this going home, this second coming. The houses in Puerto Rico are pink and blue and orange and green. Is this legal? I ask. In Brooklyn, coloring any wall is grounds to get you arrested. In Aguadilla, you get to live inside of your own mural. Suddenly, graffiti makes sense to me as something that belongs to us, a rainbow that seeps out of us like some extension of our blood. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. That was amazing. Next up, and my final poet of my group, an amazing person. I cannot say enough about her. I love her to death. And I wanted to do a quick mention. Back when this started, Jasmine started a mutual fund, if I remember correctly, that helped families by giving them some money each month. If Jasmine, you want to mention it here, if you're still doing it, please. Next up, love her to death, Jasmine Aquilas.
Hi. My sister Elizabeth, coño, carajo, puñeta. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. And Isa, I love you so much. And y'all got me in my feelings. So how do I even, so I'm gonna do it. So the way I'm gonna do it, last year I had an idea about, roll it back. Many of you don't know that I was like in Catholic school for 14 years, which is a long time. It's gross. And so I know the Bible really well. And one of the things that I've always been obsessed with the Bible is how they fucking treat women and like how they depict women and like the stories they tell about women. So last year, I started a series on women of the Bible. So because I love Lisa so fucking much, and you're just gonna take it, you're gonna have to take it. I'm gonna read the poem about Elizabeth from the Bible where she gets her name. You're just gonna have to suffer through it. I love that. So Luke 45, and blessed is she that believed. Despair as food, yet hope as water. Elizabeth became mother at the twilight age of 60 to a man who would touch millions. That's John the Baptist, if you didn't know. What is such a birth to a woman? Namesake, my sister. I think of her spilling forth poem as food. as scripture, as water? What if our own baptism began with tears, came from spit and sweat, that became audacity and in labor gave birth to survival for those that once found themselves voiceless, graceless, because time had yet to proclaim them all holy? If birth is the most holy, we are all sainted, with but one mission with her as mother. Survive, yes, but thrive. Laugh at what condemns us. Sing loudly at those who would silence us. Because birthing is painful, but look, we are a nation of water. All of us, they tried to silence. The cacophony is now the river. She tells me, yo, no one thought I'd be here. And I say, look, my love, at how many have arrived with you. I love you. Okay. So, and anybody who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with Mary Magdalene. So, of course, the first poem I wrote in this whole series was about Mary Magdalene. They did find the book of Mary Magdalene. It's not included in the Bible because, you know, fucking misogynist. And, I mean, I could say more, but we ain't got time. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene excerpt. And Desire said, I did not see you go down, yet now I see you go up. So why do you lie, since you belong to me? The soul answered, I saw you. You did not see me, nor do you know me. You mistook the garment I wore for my true self, and you did not recognize me. So that's a part of her book. Mary Magdalene loved a man who could not love her back. History then created the silent, holy whore, a redemption arc. How much sacrifice is considered necessary to be seen as whole? I think of her often, her aching mouth full of prayer, an empty communion cup kiss, her aging skin defined only in abstinence, not the soothing of warm hands at night, the penance of a woman born first of survival, then absence. We still follow those same sacrifice cycles, prayers, and repeat. I love, and see, I am worthy of love, we say to a vacant room. Wait, I don't know. I want to do like 2 more if that's okay. I'm nervous. Okay. Psalm 45:17. I will make thy name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore shall the people praise thee forever and ever. Before her death, Jezebel colored her face in makeup, dressed in jewels and finery, and smiled down at her executioners. They fed her body to stray dogs. History stole her name, made synonymous with whore, uncontrolled. The audacity of a woman to face men with red-lipped grin, eyes lined in charcoal night, body of no fear. I apply my eye makeup, thinking of her, sharp lines, my hands steady. I too will smile at those who wish me meek, lips flushed, colored blood, daring judgment. Because I too am a war whose name will echo, still alive, My God, look how beautiful. Still alive. Denied. The dogs still howl. And I'm gonna do one more for my sister. That's okay? Okay. Ruth 1 verses 16, 17. Where you go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die. There will I be buried. Even as death swallows a woman whole, she will still reach with warm hands towards another woman. Ruth lost her sons, her husband, but knew the kinship of motherhood as salvation. I think of her and Naomi, the widows of faith, when I think of my sister, us, the orphans, scattered into mothering with no compass save for our hearts that whisper a tenderness neither of us experienced. I wonder if she knows she is my true north. I think of the softness of when I first held her, the arms of a child holding a child, that sliver in time when I became a mother. And even if all my loss was laid before me, a tapestry braided in neglect and abuse, I will throw it over my shoulders. Royal cape reminder that I will follow you. I will love you, even if death dares to separate me from you. For I am yours, your mother, even if not in true name. And sister, a haloed second. Your mirrored home most of all, and never shall you be alone. While we birth kings in a world that denies both our blood. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Okay. Moving forward, I am going to now pass the hosting duties over to mi hermano. Definitely not Daniel Jose Gastambide something 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 Bird. Please welcome to the mic, D-Bird.
What? Fuck. Oh, God. What? Wait. Isa?
No, what the fuck, man?
Wait, Isa, what time?
Yes.
Wait, there was a show going on?
Yes, there's a show going on.
Oh, fuck. Hold on.
Yeah, you're a host. You're a host of it.
You're mad disrespectful, bro.
Mad disrespectful, but we still love you.
Pants. Where are pants? Hold on.
Yeah.
Where are pants?
On everything.
Oh, wait, there's pants right here. Hold on. What are these jeans?
Pants are important, D-Bird.
Wait, there's a hole in these fucking jeans. Oh, my God. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Wait, they don't need to know that. They don't need to know that. I'll just wear these pants. Nobody needs to know. I'll just put the camera facing right where my beautiful, ruggedly handsome face would be. And, okay, ready for action. Hello, beautiful people of La Esquina. I am he of which they spoke of, whom you have heard, Daniel Jose Gastambide Núñez Arria Costa Suarez Ceja, Bird. And I'm so excited to share with you all tonight this wonderful evening with the community. And I thought I'd start off with a little poem of my own, just a little thing I put together in the last 30 minutes. It's entitled Rear-Ending Puerto Ricanness. It's based off a book called Narciso Descubre Su Trasero, meaning Narcissus discovers their ass. They say the biggest butts are Puerto Rican. Boricua butts, if I may be so bold, forgive me for butting in with a very uncouth, incordio, irrespetuoso, sinvergüenza question. Where do these butts come from? Some say Boricua butts come from blackness. African diaspora makes us disperse the moment we name it between ourselves. En familia. Dinga. Mandinga. ¿Y tu abuela? Still in the kitchen? Wasn't sure, this economy is pretty bad. Maybe you put her in the closet. Let's do some simple math, shall we? One people divided by 3 Reyes Magos, bringing Spanish conquistador buscando oro, indigenous taíno quemando incienso, black slave deseando mirra para curar sus heridas. Hold on, let me see. Carry the 2, divide and conquer, multiply by 500 years, leads to exactly, look at that, 1 butt. Your abuela's butt, your mama's butt, your butt, it's all the same answer to the question, why are we kidding? The question being, are Puerto Ricans black? Bueno, yo no soy negro, pero sometimes followed by like, pero like, which with or without the like means but. I'm not black, but yo soy trigueño, like wheat sitting in the field while our people go hungry. Also, sometimes means black. Not black, but yo soy mulatto, like it sounds like mulatto. Why not gelato? When anti-blackness like Geppetto pulls your strings, your nose just Pinocchios. Your heart Grinches when you sometimes mean black. Not black, but yo soy how, which means high yellow like, mixed like, light skin a mother could love. Pero pelo, she could make you hate. Sometimes means black. Not black, but yo soy de color, like people of color, you know what white people say when they don't want to say black. Not black, but yo soy pardo, afro-mestizo, mezclado, mixed up in your mind. Más jorobado que el jabao, you should talk to them. Also, sometimes means black. Not black, but yo soy moreno means brown, marron, maroon on an island surrounded by water. Quote, lots of water, the best water between them and home. Where Spanish is not the language, sometimes means black. Not black, but yo soy prieto. Really? For real. We're going to split hairs like that. Depends. Pero bueno. Pelo malo. Pelo kinky. Pelo es pelo. 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 Chucu. Pelo pelo. Chupa. Pelo pelo. 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 Pelo es pelo, pero no tengas pelos en la lengua, cabrón. Habla claro, me desespero. Sometimes means black. Not black, but yo soy negro. Come on, seriously, we're going to do this right now. So you're not black, but negro seems to me you have a complex about your complexion. Also, sometimes kind of always means black, not black, but yo soy un vaso de leche. Jar of milk means white, which for me, I have mirrors in my home. Not going to lie, that tracks so long as abuela stays in the closet. Dinga. Mandinga, negritud becomes a question, becomes a ghost haunting Casper's skin, but that's en la isla growing up. Aquí in the States, time I've been living, y'all need therapy. Black Puerto Ricans say they're Taino, but not black. Brown Puerto Ricans say they white, but not black. White Puerto Ricans say they black, but not black. Whoa, chill, I take it back. Y'all don't need Jesus. Y'all don't need a therapist. You need black Jesus, black Santa Claus, black Mega Man, Black Panther, black Little Mermaid, black Wonder Woman, black Chapulín Colorado, los tres Reyes Magos. There's not just one that's black, just saying. A child asks their father, Papi, tú eres negro. Papi, are you black? Bueno, yo soy negro, but I look down at my arms, really more brown than black. Lift up my shirt, my chest more light skinned than black, and yeah, I guess my butt, but like if somebody gonna hate my trigueño, morenito, quemadito skin, fuck them. Pero papi, some of my black friends see you as black, not out of hate, but love and familia. The father is silent, esperando mirra pa su herida. The world does not understand the child. The child's body and parentage complicates things. The child would burn the world down itself to its foundations if it would gift their father tomorrow. but maybe they will need to. Maybe they'll find a cure for what ails them, but that remains to be seen. Brown arms, white chest, black butt, so many body parts, so little time makes you wonder, how big is Frankenstein's butt? Who knows, but maybe, just maybe, it's Puerto Rican. Buenos días, buenas noches, buenas tardes, buenas cuando sea. I am once again your host for this moment, D-Bird. And I am very tired. I only wish I didn't do this for a prop. I wish I'd actually drunk all of this. Unfortunately, I did not. Don't try this at home for the children at home. And I am excited to bring up a gang of misfits to this mic. I can assure you they're all charlatans. They all write very well. They're funny and endearing in their own right. I tolerate them every now and then, sometimes on a weekly basis, sometimes every once a mic, but I can assure you, you're gonna love them. First up to this mic, I wanna welcome this brother who is a colleague from the healthcare providing fields, somebody who brings it and tells it like it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Connor. That's your cue, Thomas. Thomas, you were here giving us a full-blown soliloquy, and now you walked away. You know what? I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time, and I'm gonna try again a little later. Until then, next person, you better not fuck up. Better not fuck this up and embarrass me. The next person I'm going to try to bring to the mic. She is a wonderful, incredible sister with amazing poetics. Also a peer, in this case from the mental health field, who has brought so much to our community, both with her art and with her learning and her new knowledge as an art therapist. I want you all to give it up for Sara Serrana Quiling, also known as Little Shiva.
Hello. Okay. Almost. There we go. Hiding. Thank you, D-Bird.
I was about to say, but then you said it.
I had the honor of being a part of Peggy's 6-week workshop.
They won't recognize without my glasses. I didn't even know where I put my glasses.
Yeah, bring one too. And she just had her workshop's just really amazing and everything that I really needed in this pandemic and to help me through what I've been going through with my family. And I think she really helped me just to along with Iris as well, just get back on my spiritual path. So I'm very, very grateful. And my mother-in-law, very grateful for all three of them in my life. But Peggy gave us a really amazing prompt just in regards to reframing how we look at Mondays. And she spoke about Elegua and the crossroads and all of these things I cannot remember because I have really bad fish memory, but my poem is called Mondays Are for Elegua. Manifest your dreams into reality. Open your heart to perspective, compassion, and patience. Notice how you are feeling in the present moment. Draw when words are nowhere to be found. Accept all parts of yourself, your shadow, and your light. Yes to breaking generational curses. Yes to embracing your full potential. Stand and speak your truth. And the second one, I've been having a lot of dreams, a lot of spiritual dreams, and this is just kind of like a reflection of that. Listen to spirit, connect with ancestors, be blessed on guided path, lit by fireflies. My dog is licking my feet, sorry. Be blessed on guided path, lit by fireflies. Know the words that fall from your lips are honeyed prayers, turn bountiful blessings. You are sent to heal, bring comfort when too much world becomes too heavy to hold. You be God, You be ancestor, you be art, you be resilience, you be mover and shaker, turning earth into mountains, dewdrops into stars. When you take a breath, you exhale love. So thank you, and shout out to my community. Thank you guys for all just being there for me during this time. Thank you.
Always, sister, and thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. You're amazing. All right, let's see. I'm gonna do a quick check because they're on my list, but I'm not sure if they're here. Ramon, are you on the call?
Ramon is not on the call. Thomas is, and so is Tony.
Okay. Thomas, are you ready? All right. Take it away, Thomas.
Wait, you're muted.
You, brother. You got to unmute.
So there we go. Thank you, guys. See, I'm technologically deficient over here. So the piece that I'm going to perform is, it's a second version of the first piece that I did. And the first piece that I did was called Time. And this piece is called Time Revisited. It's comes from the conversations I used to have with my father. And he was always very vocal about how important it is to manage your time, how to, respect time in terms of your ancestry and so on and so forth. So this one is called Time Revisited. I once wrote about time, illustrating her nuances as irony, failing to see her beauty. We truly overlook the significance of her duties, watching as she balances life, while her sands pour grain by grain, marking us stain by stain, at times treating us with disdain, because we choose to use her name in vain. Like, we ain't got time for that. You know what time it is. Time is running out, but guess what? Time, she never runs. She drips and ticks, every one of her moments clicking away into our daily ways. She teases us with the illusion that we have more of her than we think. I love how she thinks, carving, dissecting past, present, and future. Forgettable moments I can't forget. Our intent to control her is a wasted event. An illusion, a fusion of myth and hope, this hope to make more time for time. Time for friends, family, lovers, experiences, and moments, like bus trips with mom to Graham Avenue and beyond. That's the beauty of her, fusing all three with her celestial sutures. However, there are those parts of her I'd rather forget, like mistakes and regrets. That part of time that I can't reset. So in short, I just accept. You see, her uncertainty worries me, buries me in those unforgettable moments, unavoidable, deplorable events like tragedy and death. Embracing her takes strength. Swallowing her oceans requires patience and faith. The irony and complexity is I find myself wanting to delve into her waves, submerge myself into her oceans 1 second at a time, hoping I could reverse her. But she's time. And shit, she's already addressed that in the beginning of time. And dealing with her, I know I could drown in her grind, but the scent of her draws me, holds me, controls me. Untamable she is, victory is unattainable over her. Possibilities unnameable. Admiring the splendor of her, you can get lost in a blur. How she collaborates with life, joys and strife. Imperfections, her directions go more than just four. She splendidly paints her tapestry across our memory. Her gentle strokes of her brush paint complexities and ridicules us for our limitations as we try to banish her from our addendum. But that's us hope in a bottle a million miles away. Time, she is everlastingly beautiful. Bright and luminous, her sunset never sets. She just dips below our horizon as we peek trying to hide from her. But from the minute we're born, she has us in her grip.
Give it up for Thomas. Depends. You got more in you?
Yeah, I got one more. You want me to give you one more? I got one more. Absolutely. This one is because of the winter. So I wrote this in Advocate of Words writing shop. he said, write something about, the upcoming season. So I wrote this. The winter beckons, creeping slowly with her winds. I reckon she too wants to be wanted. Her haunting howls, flurries and swirls, the streets and foliage bear her markings. Her folded posture, sulking body, that's her way of mourning the autumn. The whistle of her trees, frost on her leaves, brisk northern breeze she blows. Slowly bringing everything to a freeze, her body knocks on fall's door. Her lifespan 3 months and sometimes a month more. Carrying carols while she dances, winding with her wind. Her season wins our attention. She coasts with her coldness, gripping the ground, her attempts to prolong her stay. She glides through the wind, inhabiting gardens, enchanting every household. Her music, her chiming sound of rebirth can be heard, springing life after death. For now, we will see her silhouette in our breath. Her crooked bare branches, frozen and stagnant, she rejoices for summer's death. Visions of snowballs decking our hall, she fights to keep spring at bay, at least until the groundhog peaks. For now, she gifts us with wreaths, tamales, pasteles, coquito, torrejas, pacifying us till spring sprouts. This dynamic makes winter beyond content, without a doubt.
All right. Give it up for Thomas, ladies and gentlemen. Brother, thank you so much for sharing. All right.
Thank you, hermano.
Always a pleasure. All right. Last bomb-ass artist on my list is, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome to this mic tonight, Tony Algarondo.
Thank you so much. Latino!
That was it. You liked it?
Latinos are the colors of the rainbow. I said the rainbow, yo. Latinos are blanquito, negrito, trigueñito, and afro. Afrolistic, realistic, simplistic, always mystic, always real. Really real, sometimes too real. Always told we love to steal. So some Latinos become violent, so violent we grow violent, and almost everyone we know is violent. Others become angered, so angry and angered, some have become endangered, or misinformed, uninformed, and uniformed into the penitentiary, right into the next century. Others misinformed, uninformed, and uniformed into the war, turned into Uncle Sam's whore. Latinos, I can't take it no more. I said the U.S. military, well, we're first on the front lines, first to die, then we have to bury. Have you seen how many Latino soldiers are in your national cemetery? We're used in the U.S., confused in the U.S., abused in the U.S., and told we are less in the U.S. Come on, system, confess. We've been infected, rejected, corrected, and almost never elected, but always selected to clean, 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 clean those pissed on urinals and shitty stalls. We are the Latina nannies that wipe the mierda out of El Presidente's grandchildren's drawers, then kiss his ass to cut his grass for a visa pass. Latinos are runaway slaves, immigrant slaves, modern day slaves with no place to hide. Latinos risk their lives to reach the U.S. and can't come inside. Latinos are young men and women who serve this country with pride. We're here, there, and everywhere. Tall, short, balding, even Indio looking with long hair. We rock the baggy pants, love music and dance, and we're born to romance. Latinos can become what we dream, if given a chance. So nosotros somos músico and a whole lot more. Like Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award winner Rita Moreno, El Gran Combo, Willie Colon, and Mr. Hector Lavoe. Latinos are stars, sports stars, movie stars, and superstars like Celia Cruz. Latinos influence people around el mundo like Orquesta de la Luz. Latinos are united farm workers, teachers, preachers, activists, poets, Borinquen, Puerto Rican, New Yorican poets like Miguel Algarín, Pedro Pietri, Piri Tomás y Miguel Piñero. Y nacimos fuerte hasta la muerte como los macheteros. Somos doctores y profesores de colores y ingenieros. Gente como Clemente, de los mejores peloteros. Somos jíbaros de la montaña y nacimos dos salseros. Ay, mis laborinquen, como yo te quiero. Te llama Puerto Rico, pero no hay mucho dinero. Te amo, te amo, te amo y me encanta. Y en el nombre de Dios y los títeres en la esquina, Puerto Rico se levanta. Here's a little something. Thank you.
Whoa.
Tony, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you, if you have an open mic coming up, right?
Yeah, January 3rd. If you go to my Facebook, I'm not good with the links and all that stuff, but it's January the 3rd. It's gonna be on there. There's a poster. It'll be fun. It'll be lots of fun. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. So just add me in. It's all there. Yeah.
Awesome to the sauce. Well, we'll look for it. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Tony. I want to take a small intermission to share with you about a wonderful organization you should consider donating to that has given a lot to the community, and that is Mayday Space. Mayday Space is a multi-story organizing center and social hub in Bushwick that works in tandem with the sister space Star Bar, which is a short walk away. Mayday is both a neighborhood resource and a citywide destination for engaging programming, a home for radical ideas and debate, and a welcoming space for people and movements to work, learn, and celebrate and build together. As an organizing center and event space for grassroots organizations to hold their fundraising parties, leadership retreats, and more, Mayday inspires and sustains a social justice-oriented community that is both publicly identifiable and approachable. As a movement project, Mayday also works with longtime community organizers to amplify neighborhood issues such as immigrant rights, food justice, tenant protections, gentrification and displacement, as well as broader global issues such as climate justice and internet freedom. To carry out this work, Mayday Space has created empowered leadership structures for collectively managing the space and shaping the direction of their programming and organizing projects. By offering access to their space on a sliding scale down to free access, they prioritize people of color, immigrants, women-led groups, LGBTQ, poor and working class communities. We highly encourage you to reach out and give a little something to Mayday and keep just building up structures within our communities here in Brooklyn and specifically Bushwick. Now, without further ado, I want to go ahead and pass on the baton to the títere in residence of the Títere Poets, with a PH, coge lo que va sin jockey from the school of hard knocks. He's a rebel in the streets, but a lover in the sheets. He teaches sanganeria sin barreras, and you can find them anywhere there's a good time to find. I want to give it up for my brother, Hakeem, rebel poet coreano.
Buenas noches, mi gente. Everybody can hear me, right? Muy bien, muy bien. So I want to take also a moment to mention Visión Urbana's food pantry. The Visión Urbana food pantry was established in April of 2018 in partnership with the Food Bank of NYC, United Way of NYC, Driscoll Whole Foods, and Plentiful app to meet the need of food insecurity within the NYCHA of New York, as COVID-19 impacts thousands of residents on the Lower East Side and all over the world. What they've done is they've basically switched over to a home delivery food service. So Visión Urbana can be basically reached at paypal.me/Visión Urbana, hashtag until COVID is over and beyond. So mi gente, it is an honor and a pleasure to be here, especially mentioning these wonderful organizations that have been doing the work on the ground since the beginning of the pandemic. Shout out to them. Shout out to the frontline workers that have also been at it since the beginning. And I want to just get right into it. By the way, I love you all. Thank you for joining our space and for creating Communidad. This is what it's all about. So true story. Yeah, go ahead. Dale.
We love you more.
Ay, gracias. Tú eres mío.
No, tú eres mío.
Ay, para allá no voy. Awakened to mandatory. Ahora, chicos, respeta, por favor. Awakened, true story, awakened to mandatory sabbatical. Guaranteed obituary. Virus came like ships to colonize security invasion. In Spanish, corona means crown. Like Charles I of Spain, this is not a game. Slowly going insane state of emergency, never ending. Coño, man. Didn't they know this would happen before it happened? It was all apocalypse until the numbers came out. Black and brown disproportionately affected. Que cojones. I say weaponized prayer got us all on our knees. Where is this heading? Where have we been? Bush era warrantless wiretaps. Is 9/11 Patriot Act? Fear is pandemic, isolation, no solutions, national shutdown, quarantine, mandatory vaccines, un cabrón que no sabe un carajo, death toll rising, people showing their ass out here, no tengo trabajo, rent been past due, to eat, I'ma do what I have to, don't sleep, how they expect us to survive the wreckage, navigate the naysayers, I get it. We can't forget that our rights have been sacrificed for perceived security. They cannot keep us safe, and we know it. The virus came like the cross to propagate fear across the globe. Indigenous still at the bottom of America's totem pole. Wealth placed over human souls. Columbus mentality is control. What have you done in this sabbatical? How have you grown in the eye of the storm? There is no new norm. It is what it's always been, us against them. Look within. We've been here before. In Spanish, corona means wreath for the dead. In this mandatory sabbatical, guaranteed obituary, if we sleep now, who will be crowned next? Thank you, mi gente. So I want to end it with this. Along with what a few people touched upon, part of what allowed me to make it through all the madness was, you all and the spaces that were made available by some amazing, amazing poets. One of which was Homemade, which was a space basically presented by Aja Monet. Our very own Elizabeth Velasquez was able to, showcase. And she put out a prompt of self-portrait. So this is my rendition. I am Caribbean Valley, still river, non-certified laborer, host of Zoom smile, reflection of brown boy, lonely, bomba drum skin, spilling espíritu through N95 mask, reggaeton percussion persona, downbeat tate quieto aura, sabrosura, el sofrito de milagros, sorullito de María, tamarindo rebeldía, curry spice attitude, guarapo roots drink libation to fatherless, weeping earth. I am daydream, volando chiringa en el morro, orchestral symposium in C minor, waiting on D train, watering flower pots, children of Baldwin, Palo Santo Salat, repellent de todo malo, el duende's legend, un semi algarete made of concha y hueso, unearthed in Caguas, enlightened in Sistrunk. I am galloping dragon, making his way through Ghost Town, too phantasm for its own reckoning. Vela Blanca, in turbulent sea of doubt, burning despite own veracity, that's what's up. Julia's punch, drunk lover, Ponce's ternura, Fela's face paint, Don Pedro's cadence, Francisco's temperance, Yo soy flirting flores, Filipino coreano, sun-shaped vessel, slave lineage, Kintsugi, boy, gold dust, hot blood, I am grassroots movement, loud, whisper, mumbled boom bap, prayer, butterfly and bullet, sereno at dawn, coqui song in unison, altissimo, when you know you just made your way back home. Mi gente, love you all. Thank you for having me. Corillo, I don't have a list. I'm supposed to be a host. I don't know if I'm only hosting myself. If anybody else wants to.
No, you are indeed
back
hosting.
on.
You
Dame la
have two
lista, por
people
favor.
on the list. You have two people on the list. You can remember it. Mark Vigo and Anthony Bavera.
Los títeres. Ay, señor.
You back on that host list and you like it.
Oye, señoras y señores, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring up el títere más títere de los títeres, next to maybe este servidor y un tal D-Bird por ahí, Anthony. Come up to the virtual stage, mi pana, mi hermano.
¿Pero cuál Anthony? ¿Anthony Vigo o Anthony Rivera?
Chico. Es que Vigo es Vigo. ¿Qué te pasa? Vas a empezar, chico.
Empezar, ya este cabrón ya empezó.
That shit never fails, bro.
Dale ahí, dale ahí.
You mind your next, son. I handle you on Monday.
Dile a tu país.
He's learning from his dad. He's already talking shit.
Anthony, it'd be nice if you unmuted your microphone.
So it is me. All right, I'm just making sure. He said, espérate, espérate. So I was esperando.
He said, it's you. I'm sorry.
All right, my bad, my bad. All right. Can y'all hear me? So this is what I'm gonna do before I start reading. Since we was talking about a little bit of the spiritualism of certain things, I would like to start my session with a little bit of a burning. If y'all with it, oh, well, whether y'all with it or not, I am. So. Keep it seasonal. I'm burning some cedar. Cedar is burned. One of the reasons why cedar is burned is for protection. Say hi, Elijah. Elijah is son of the smoke. All right, now the first piece I'm gonna get into, and it's been a while since I wrote, right? But Mario's like, yo, you gotta do it, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. So I'm gonna read some. I'm gonna read this poem he had asked me, he had wanted me to read, that we wrote in like 2015, called Mi Cafecito. Mi cafecito en la mañana, calientito cuando llega, es la razón por que sube el sol. Mi cafecito tan dulce, tan bella, a veces lo bebo con unas galletitas que vienen en una lata verde, como me enseñó abuelita, que se comía con mayonesa. My son is a little bit loud too. That's the títere in here. Mi cafecito en la mañana es para mí, tan tradición de los viejos de antes en sus cocinas con su caldo de media y su leche hervida. Mi cafecito tiene sus raíces muy dentro de la tierra de mis ancestros, en cada casa político, cada revolucionario, en cada artista. Mi cafecito empezando mi día contigo es pura poesía, día detrás día, porque me abre los ojos, me quita mis enojos y por dejar al sueño seguir sin mí. Mi cafecito, te beso con mis labios y tu calor me traga a mí. Gracias, mi cafecito, por dejarme amarte cada día cuando despierto. Mi cura, mi herencia, mi destino, mi cafecito.
Shout out to Cafecitos.
Shout out to Cafecito, Bustelo, Rico, you name it.
The second piece.
Yaucono.
The second piece I'm gonna read is it's called Writer's Block. I am broken, left without words. Those infinite spaces between each letter weren't supposed to be for us. Those spaces were supposed to bring us closer. They were like a lifetime, like fields of grass along the plains of the Midwest, green, stretching forever. That's what infinite means. But those spaces only made us grow apart, like tectonic plates that pull and separate. The pulling away left me crumbling, left me exposed. Yes, I am ungrateful. Yes, I am angry. You weren't supposed to leave, and now I have no symmetry. I can't walk. I am unbalanced. But like Pandora looking into her box, all I have left is hope. This dark and shiny place, this restless, unprotected world, I needed to make words. These words needed to make sense. This sense needed to change the world, and the world needed to be found within these words profound. But you left me, like a drop of water carried by the river downstream. So I ask, will I ever find you? You made me a writer, a poet. I danced with your letters and made music called words. You, anonymous lover who left me calmly sleeping while you gathered your shoes and wrapped your scarf. You left me. I awake alone and insecure. The combination was revealed, the safe was unlocked, and I am burning from the stolen and the empty. There is no last sip. Like a Ziploc with a hole, I have no use. This pen is worthless. The symphonies of sentences, the performances of paragraphs, the instrumental riffs of writing, gone. As much as I want you to, you can't live in my book anymore.
Anthony, thank you.
You're very welcome. The final piece. Give me a second. Oh, here it is. It's called Examination. Many people have asked, who am I? But have I ever asked myself, when was the last time I stood in front of a mirror? And what was I looking for? Could I see past the cracker-thin layer of brown in the color of my eyes? I was never a pretty face, so I had to learn not to make my mouth look ugly, and I taught myself to poetry. Still, who was I looking at? My curly hair wasn't black enough to be black or straight enough to be anything with straight hair, so what didn't I know? My skin is light, but I'm not white, so what don't I know? I look at myself and try to piece together the fact that I am not foreign and I am not a misconception. Even though this world tries to tell me that I am foreign, that I am a misconception. My Puerto Rican inheritance is worth only to wash dishes in the back of the store for minimum wage for a fat man whose heart is skinny and his voice is loud, but his threats are empty. I look at myself in the mirror and begin to see the scars of my people who were caned for passing out from the heat stroke of the Puerto Rican sun, the lashes across my back from the weight they carried to get me here. The scarlet upon my hands from the blood in my eyes only looks worse when I smell the iron. I stand upon their shoulders. These war-bound soldiers whose misery defined their revolution, dragging my lifeless body to fight for my rights. I look again, and what do I see? I see my grandmother's pride for being a boy. Factory work has taken its toll, especially on a woman who in her time couldn't get respect from men because respect was not her place. And whenever she tried to reach for it, her husband, a good businessman turned monster, would beat her down in drunken rage. He was a former slave owner turned slave by the bottle. That was his true love. All that remains in this is this layer of crusty crimson and the taste of metal. I look again. What do I see? My baggy jeans and long hair with the fresh ups and my fitted cap tilted to the side. Pretty words for a pretty girl, it'll only cost her your number. I didn't like me. I was too smart for this world. No one read books. No one looked at the stars. Everyone just said they aimed for them. But hey, baby, how about that number? How about that poem? I wrote it just for you. I'm not lying. You're all I ever see getting passed around, and this turn belongs to me. Because if life is a game, then I'm just a player, only committing the crimes my conscience would let me get away with. I wasn't a gangster. Jail wasn't my only option, but stupidity was an infectious cancer that ate my mind. I lost my soul. Wherever I was, I couldn't see my ancestors. Their beatings, their deaths meant nothing. All that carried me here, that I was supposed to carry on to entrust in my future generations, my lineage, my heritage burned away and decayed like meat. I was that Spaniard whom lifted that baby, and I was that baby smashed against the rocks for status quo. I hated myself. The blood was fresh. Player, you were no longer a poet. This enterprise of self-destruction devised by entropy was the chaos theory. Words were no longer my friends, but Murphy was. So I crossed streets thick with gunfire, claiming to be blessed by hellfire that cracked like dry tinder. Everything I looked at turned to ash, so I stopped looking at myself. This world didn't love me. I didn't love myself. I couldn't put words together even if Merriam and Webster did it for me. Where I came from, everybody wanted to be a player. Life is a game. Well, I played myself into losing my identity. Those gentle people with copper skin couldn't carry me through this. I walked upon their bones and spat in their face to be unreal. Until I forced these tired, hallucinating eyes to look into the mirror again, where I was. Bearded face, thick eyebrows, lamenting eyes. I saw this word that played around with meaning, and that word was me. Thank you.
Dope, dope, dope. Gracias, mi hermano. Mira, Anthony, tú estás bien chulo esta noche, papi. ¿Pa dónde vamos?
Oh, voy para la esquina. What you think? That open mic is lit.
Yo, for real.
Yo, not for nothing, pero tú tienes tus espejuelos puestos. Ese tipo se ve bien pastroso.
No lo trates así, bendito.
¿Qué tú dijiste?
Hey, so thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. So next up to the virtual stage, my brother, Mark Anthony Vigo Hart.
What's up, people? How you doing, brothers? It's been a minute. How you doing, Rebel? All right. It's so good to see, man, that you guys are doing all this for the sake of community, man, because there's nobody that's going to do it for us, you know? So if nobody's going to do it for us, I guess we got to do it for ourselves. You know, I'm not big on the, how you say, I guess not to chit chat, but I don't know, I start to get mumbled and whatever, but my heart is always in the right place. And I'm glad I'm surrounded by so many people that are setting an example for me. I mean, I consider myself an OG and I'm over here, I'm learning from you guys, you know? So to that, I owe you gratitude, crazy gratitude. I guess, let me just get into these pieces. I'm gonna start with one, and you know, time given, I'll try to throw in another one there. Susanna might have heard this one because she's been on a couple of open mics that I've caught her on, and she's amazing. So, like everybody knows, no poem is ever finished. Every poem is always in transformation. So I guess you could say this piece I'm kind of workshopping. This piece is called Requiem for a Nuyorican poet. And all of us lies within a poet, made up of the words, emotions, and spirits of those who have come and gone before us. That poet sometimes goes unnoticed and ignored altogether, or worse yet, stifled by insecure critics with an aversion for truth and such. But in that moment, when that poet allows him or herself to just be, granting themselves unequivocal freedom, allaying their fears to speak what is in their now vulnerable, exposed hearts, they become omnipotent. Their words living on forever, como títeres, loved in the hearts of those they speak and stand up for, feared and respected in the minds and backbones of those they speak out against or hold to account. We as poets are all things, many, far from perfect. But most importantly, above all else, we are nothing without our stories. We must continue telling them for the benefit of our posterity, preserving and protecting our history, our culture, sharing our experiences and reveling in our victories. Our stories are too important not to be shared with everyone. But we must be the ones to tell them, expressed in voices uniquely our own. And who better to do that than us? Others may be able to repeat them, but we are the only ones that can truly tell them from our distinct perspective, one forged by our experiences, our upbringing, our surroundings. Growing up Puerto Rican was not always easy, but it has always been beautiful. Now, not all Nuyorican poets are Puerto Rican, but they are still all Nuyorican poets. And as such, we are here to speak to a much larger audience, not just those few of us, but to the entire collective of all of us. So there's no need to assimilate or modify our lexicon or change the way we move our bodies or the way we sometimes use our hands to accentuate our words in order to be accepted and understood. Some would feel pigeonholed being considered a New Yorican poet. Personally, I feel honored. If anything, it has allowed me to be my most unlimited, creative, heartfelt self. We all speak of the human experience because we are all human, and that experience is different for all of us for many reasons. Though, as Neo-Rican poets, we can bridge those cultural gaps by identifying and relating to those things that we all have in common. In doing so, we are not just Neo-Rican poets anymore. We are poets, period. Just telling it like it is. Some can attain an understanding of things only after experiencing for themselves. And as poets, this is where we work our magic. With our words, we encapsulate these life experiences, creating vivid visions with our vocals. When our words captivate you, capturing you completely by surprise because they have struck you like a bolt of lightning in those deep, dark places that hold strong emotions rarely seen or felt in the light of day. Our words, they can illuminate, provide comfort, and express hope just as easily as they can bring pain. Combining vowels and consonants like an alchemist, crafting words fused together by heat of emotions erupting from within. The words exploding off our tongue like hellfire. As poets, we are warriors of words, armed with meter and language, emotion, cadence, and charisma. Our words heal as well as cut. They can soothe like a salve for the wronged and the wounded, or be sharp as a blade used to fillet all reprehensible misdeeds to the bone. And when we are done, all that is left is a scorched patch of earth where we once stood, where we ripped open our chests with our own bare hands, freeing our souls to let truth fly. To be a New Yorican poet, it's a beautiful thing, man. To be a part of such an organic movement, one steeped in such tradition and legacy, this path forged for us by a long list of trailblazers, heroes, legends, and icons, far too many to be named here, though I'm sure you know them all. But if I had to name just one, and only one, I'm sure you would all agree. So when my time on this earth is done, and they open up my chest, look closely at my heart, there you will find a long, winding trail of smoldering footprints made by Miguel Algarin, El Padrino of all New Yorkers, each outlined in embers, burning, still. Descansa en paz, Miguel. Gracias por todo. Que Dios te bendiga. Thank you. All right.
Awesome.
If time allows, I would like to maybe spit another short one, if it allows. This one's called That Poetry Shit. It's a classic. What I like to do is a favorite of mine, and it applies to all of us. This thing we do, what the non-believers call that poetry shit, means the world to me. Much like the air that I breathe, even though they might not understand this. Expressing myself, sharing my soul openly with the world can be a redeeming experience, believe me. But it ain't easy, as I let it all hang out despite their closed-minded ambivalence. I do this for me, not for you, not for him, not for her, or her mother's other brother. I do this for me, something I just love to do, and it's a love unlike any other. I nurture, I feed, I hope to grow this thing inside me, what they call that poetry shit. I eat, sleep, and drink, and breathe my words, not for the sake of conformity, but completely in spite of it. So I don't care if you're into it or not. If it's not for you, that's okay. I could dig it. But don't go knocking my hustle, what they call that poetry shit, because it means a whole lot more to me than that. So respect it, and don't you ever, never, ever get it twisted. It's not easy leaving your shattered soul broken out there, heart in shreds, tattered book, pages blowing in the wind the whole damn world can see. I'm just trying to open up a little, understand you, by helping you to open up a little and understand me. As a matter of fact, we're not that different. As you can see, we're alike in more ways than just quite a few. Because whenever I hear your stories, you reveal parts of me. And whenever you hear my stories, I hope to unveil parts of you too. Gracias todo, man. Love you. Peace.
Dope, dope. Thank you, Vigo. Appreciate it. So at this time, mi gente, I would like to pass hosting duties over to my brother, Mario Jose Pagan Morales. Mi gente, it's been a pleasure. Que Dios me lo bendiga y buenas noches. God bless you and good night.
Bueno, ¿qué puedo decir? It has been amazing to be with all of you again. So I would like to say thank you to Vigo, to Joseph, to Fly Vida, to Sarah, to Iris, to Sauda, to Tony, to Hakeem, to Jasmine, to Violeta, to Isa, to Bird, to Anthony, to the love of my life, Red, who's sitting back there just listening. Shout out to Cali, shout out to Brooklyn, shout out to Jersey, shout out to upstate New York, shout out to Canada. Thank you for joining us this evening. I would like to close with just saying that I would like to personally thank those who have laid down the work for us. Rest in peace, Miguel Algarin. And thank you, as Keith Roach used to say, just do the work. So with that, we'll see you next month. Our feature will be Violeta Orozco. And I will personally tell you, don't be surprised if I send you a message or if Isa reaches out to you, because we would love for all of you to feature. So, muy buenas noches. God bless.
Thank you, guys.
Buenas noches, y'all.
Buenas noches. Yo, before we go, yo, Títeres brings up.
Buenas noches.
Yeah, baby. I want to see him. I want to see him. That's right.